Well, theirs is,
They go and go?
They were like Fords.
I hope
So
so.
they're daily.
I think theirs is a 13 or a 14 John Deere, so that's not brand new either, but it was a lot newer than the red one was.
Have you seen what these guys are doing with these old combines?
Please enter your participant or moderator code, followed by the pound key.
Oh, yeah, who's got,
Artisan has it.
yeah,
Yeah.
what's his name out on the blacktop by
Artisan.
Please say your name, followed by the pound key. You are the first participant in the conference.
Those little farm
Yeah,
kids.
a little slide coming out of it and all that, yeah. Yeah, that's kinda neat. But,
Not quite as fun as garbage truck though, you know.
we got, one thing I will say that's nice, is they got one of them, what do they call the heads with the, no auger anymore?
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, oh boy, does that feed it.
The conveyor one.
Yeah, the Draper, is it
Draper.
Draper?
Well, we
That's
used
a
to have
weird
row crop
looking-
head.
What's that?
We used to have a row crop beam head.
Oh,
Looked like a
a
corn
corn
head.
head, yeah, I've seen
But
that
it-
before.
It had a spinning,
Yeah, I think they call it a draper,
Mhm.
don't they?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. And even when the beans start getting tough, it still feeds them even, so you don't slug the combine up. And they've been just a little tough, even when the weather's nice.
we had one,
We had that a little bit yesterday.
we had one of each, so you could open up the field with the other head and then come in with the row crop and go side by side with them.
Yeah, when you're opening up
A lot
the
less
field.
shatter with that thing.
Yeah,
Beans are a little weird this year. I mean, they're plenty dry, but then there's some
green beans.
green, there's
Yeah,
green beans
So
on the
the
bottom.
frost wasn't strong enough. Saw a lot of corn that turned white.
Yeah, no kidding.
My daily reminder's going off
Yeah? What,
for the next little while.
that you
until
have a
we get off.
meeting?
I didn't even know they sold windshield washer fluid in this country that wasn't good for freezing. I thought it said -35 on it when I bought the case or whatever, but actually it says don't use below 35. I was filling my truck the other day, and well, then the other truck too, I was just, we need to use the squirters, and I sent a message to all the kids to start washing windows all the time.
Get rid of it?
Get rid of that stuff, and put some stuff in there
I
that
never
doesn't
knew
freeze.
I'll be darned.
I didn't even,
An additive.
I bought a case of it and put it in everything.
Put some
Kind of like the diesel
Everclear in it or
anti-gel.
something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I can probably just, it smells like alcohol,
Put
that
some
stuff that
alcohol
doesn't
in it.
freeze. But,
But you still would never know what temperature it's good.
no, yeah.
All right, let's start this meeting. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consider a motion to approve the minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensvold, seconded by Derby to approve minutes and agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Julie has joined.
AM, we have discussion with possible action, fines for non-compliance of zoning laws. And
Do we have any examples? Do we have any information on what's typical on this?
I was hoping that Matt would be here, but he maybe is on the phone. Matt, are you on the phone? Or Kelsey? No?
Kelsey can't be here today,
Oh, that's
she's
right.
got court.
So I guess I asked to have this put on there. I think everyone's aware of the situation with non-compliance of a zoning. And we probably have people on the phone that might want to chime in too. But I think part of the reason that there's non-compliance is that he did not accept the certified letter. Or it didn't get to him, let's put it that way, on July 29th. So it's a long time ago. So in the meantime, nothing's been done.
So if he hasn't seen the letter, does he know that he's in violation?
That's,
So do we
The
have
problem.
the sheriff serve him?
Evidently, we should have the,
so Matt was going to, I did not know this, I thought he'd gotten the letter because it was sent out and it was CC'd to me on the 29th. So I basically told the people that should be able to do something about it today if he was in non-compliance, but obviously, if he doesn't know about it,
My guess is if we're gonna do any penalties involved, that's gonna be an ordinance, I would think. There's no resolution involved. It's gonna take, 2 hearings and 2 readings anyway.
that's just why I wanted to get it on the agenda so that we could,
I just text him to see if he could call in.
the gentleman with the property. Or
No.
Matt.
Has anybody spoken to him at all? I mean,
Matt or the guy
No,
in
yeah.
violation?
yeah.
I think Matt has.
Um,
I did tell Matt that we were gonna be talking about it today, so I was hoping he would just be here.
Is there any way the problem can be resolved by him putting up fences so people can't see it?
Here's a typical from a city in Iowa. Standard penalty, unless another penalty is expressly provided by the Code of Ordinances for any particular provision, section, or chapter, any person failing to perform a duty or obtain a license required by or violating any provision, Code of Ordinances, or any rule or regulation adopted herein by reference shall, upon conviction, be subject of a fine of not more than $500 or imprisonment not to exceed 30 days.
Is that per day, $500? Or is it,
This is just a standard penalty among all the ordinances.
okay,
Well, he gets $500 in jail. I don't know whether we should have, if he doesn't comply after the first notice, it's, 500, then after the next one, does it go up, or I guess if the next choice is jail, I guess you probably,
might do it then.
or.
So, we'll see if Matt responds, but, he sent me the letter and Kelsey the letter, so we both saw the letter, but obviously the gentleman did not.
Well.
Which is unfortunate, because it came back and it was sitting in our mailboxes.
Yeah, he probably knows what it's about, so it's certified letter with a sign for it that one.
Mhm. So the latest that I have from Matt was that he was gonna send us an email, all 3 of us, but I didn't get it, I don't think you did either, on what the next steps would be. Our ordinance says that the supervisors will meet and act and impose a monetary penalty.
First, he's got to see the letter though, and then.
Yeah,
Does the letter say that in it, that there will be monetary penalty and stuff?
so
I guess I
Then-
haven't seen it.
So Matt said, the ordinance said to notify the landowner of the compliance and give a timeline to them. He received a certified letter and never reached out. Well, obviously he didn't. This is from Matt still. To work on a timeline to get into compliance, which just means he has to remove the stuff. The ordinance says that the supervisors can discuss at their meeting to impose fines.
don't have anything on the books then for ordinances and fines or such.
I can go look and see what the ordinance says. Oh, I think I have
Probably
ordinance.
Is there, you know, I mean,
Excuse me.
you kinda gotta admire someone who starts himself a business and stuff like that, but.
Yeah, again,
Well, yeah, and, is there any way it can be resolved? Can he come in compliance with his neighbors, you know, or whatever, with a
fencing.
fence to block the view of it all?
but if he, well, it all depends on what he's doing there.
Yeah, if he's just doing it for yard art, but if he's selling it or moving it or, you know,
Well, I guess this is.
Communication would be key there. Yes, to, you know, notify us that it's not, you know, what we say it is.
so I think the neighbors don't want to do that, you know, I don't blame them. So do we need to make sure that that letter gets to him via, the sheriff then, or how do we need to go forward on it?
Well, we probably better check and see what our ordinances say.
Do you know what
We have-
ordinance it is?
I think I have a copy of it, hold on. Page 70. Within 30 days after filing the classification. I just took a screenshot of it, so all I have is that it's page 70 and, 173 and 174, 175. That help at all?
We have ordinances number 2 through 43.
Here's this. Oops. I'm gonna send it to you.
It'll be ordinance 5, defining and providing for the abatement of nuisance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it would. Nuisance. And non-compliance of zoning,
That's what I have, is the non-compliance with zoning.
but it also violates the
The
nuisance.
nuisance.
Would that be the zoning administrator to make that determination?
So this,
Well, that one is different than the one you sent me. This one is ordinance number 5.
so it's a kind of a very interesting place where they live. There's a number of houses close, very close, on our own little
Well, this is
cul-de-sac-ish.
formerly the town of Norman.
Oh, really? Oh. So maybe the town of Norman has some
At one time,
ordinances.
what did I look?
Let the
If you
mayor
look up
handle it.
online,
Yeah.
ghost towns of Iowa, Winnebago.
Oh, yeah,
County had
oh, yeah.
Norman?
The town of
Really?
Norman, it was
Yeah.
on the south side of the border in Winnebago County. And at one time it had 100 and some people in its town. It was right on the railroad. And
Oh.
No kidding.
Well, so, you know, what makes it kind of specialized is there's no distance from this nuisance area, from other people's backyards. You know,
There's people's backyards that are touching his,
basically.
yeah. See, I remember seeing a picture of it. is it?
be able to pull up
It's right on the
Beacon
state line.
and do an overhead shot of this place?
Oh, it's not, I was just gonna do that myself.
Just put it on the screen. And
State line where?
so what was the address? Do you remember? Just look the very northwest or northeast corner of the county. That's where it is,
That's
just
it.
south of Evans,
It's just barely in our
on
county.
Apple Avenue, isn't it?
Apple. Mhm. So, just so everybody realizes, we kind of dropped the ball on this. You know, if that certified letter didn't get to him on July 29th, it's
So it's
been,
a certified letter, not a
We
registered letter?
didn't drop the ball, he just didn't catch it.
well, the letter came back,
Okay,
so
We did what
we
we were
did,
supposed to do in a sense.
yes.
there's nothing we can
And his,
go after him with yet until
No.
we get him proper notice.
and in this overhead picture here, there, he must not have the stuff there yet. This must be old enough.
This would have been last spring.
This is last spring.
If it's the most current picture, it's last spring.
I'm sure there's some on
see.
And
there.
I know I looked up online and it was,
Which one is?
So
is
who owns this property?
Roger Cruz, C-R-U.
It doesn't come up under that.
Cruz,
I
Emily.
can navigate you there.
Oh,
Okay.
it might be under Emily's.
Is it this property here on the
Way
corner?
up there by the very north.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
You can see all those houses.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't, in
You
this
gotta-
picture, I
right,
don't
zoom
see a
and
lot of,
drag
yeah,
and
yeah,
zoom and drag.
No, that must be an old picture.
evidently.
Stay way up in the corner.
I wonder what mine's, you think that had been updated, but no, you don't have to update it in your phone, do you?
Now, bring it up.
No, I don't think so.
You just automatically update when you go to Beacon,
Apple,
everything.
there's Apple, so zoom in that area right there.
Right.
If you just click and swipe to zoom that, just make a box. Yeah, those pads are not good for that.
Let's see, I want to do like
There, that,
this thing,
no,
that.
that.
Roger Cruz and Karen,
Yeah, just,
I think it comes up
There you go.
Emily too.
yeah, oh, there's another property, I've just said it's, got the same last name.
I did go try to check down with
Come on.
Suzanne to just
J.C. Kelso,
see who owned it. And
that's where he lives, Roger Cruz,
That is not what I wanted.
Roger and Karen Cruz, so it's different.
okay, we're close. Now just bring it, click on the hand tool, just bring it up more. Okay, so now just do the info. Now click on some of those there. Oh, it's on that road over there.
You know,
Cruz.
Crews.
oh, okay. Sorry.
oh, is it spelled wrong on that?
How is it spelled on yours?
Crews.
Oh, that's what it is then. Sorry.
What did you have that?
I thought there was a Z in it.
Oh, well, I suppose in the cruisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Trying to make-
yeah.
Now drag it down so we can see where proximity to the neighbors. There you go.
Is it the property up on the point there, or is it this one that's circled?
This one right here.
That's the property?
What's the next part to the north? Who's that?
Yeah, it's the same, the point piece is also a cruise, but it's a different one. It's, Emily Cruz. 0011.
Come on.
Oh. So that's the one that used to be, the gal that was a teacher,
Carla,
isn't it?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
That's the one that Teresa's son and another guy were, there without being actual renters. Somebody else said they owned it and rented it to them.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
The one up to the north.
So you can see, I guess, you can see the proximity, which is,
So the one that wraps around them is Bob Blair, isn't it? Or is it
I don't
that
know
one there?
which one that
Oh,
is.
that's Rasmus, that wraps around. They
Yeah.
come up from the other side.
And then the other side, I think, is Hagel.
Oh, because that must be not our county.
Yeah, that one would be, that's a worth thing. Well, Hancock too, I guess they like to
That's
call it.
Eagle that you're clicking on there.
I like the sound of Apple better than some have it.
I do too.
But at the same time, it's a lot easier to figure out where you're at,
State line
counting up
road.
and down.
Wow. Alphabetical is that way too.
It is alphabetical, that is true.
Sometimes they have more than one letter.
But you can't tell how many miles you are away from somewhere else that way.
You have to use your fingers.
Yeah.
And your alphabet.
So there must be some, like, if you're not living there, I mean, there's like a trailer house.
On the property you're talking about.
Yeah,
Matt wants to know if you want him to call in.
yes.
I looked up another county, like Dallas County unincorporated zoning ordinances. They didn't say the amount of fine for noncompliance, but it just said refer back to chapter 2. So it's one of their general fines.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you're on speaker.
Okay.
Hey, Matt, we're talking about, Roger Cruz that you sent that, letter up to. We're trying to figure out the next, we're trying to figure out the next steps.
Did the letter
Yeah.
get returned like it was a bad address or?
Yeah, so ironically, I had kept my tracking number and it said that it was delivered like on the 14th of July and received on the 21st. And it's something about a signature. I printed everything off because I had it tracked, from the post office. And anyway, it ended up back in my mailbox, and it said no such good address. But it's the same address that the taxes get sent to. So I'm kind of at a loss, other than maybe seeing if we can have it delivered maybe by law enforcement or something. I don't know.
So do you have the letter or,
Yep. Yeah, I got the letter. I CC'd you guys as well.
yes, yeah.
Seems like I'd seen that.
So have you personally spoken to him when you went up there, when I asked you to go up there this summer?
Yes. No, I have not personally. I went up there twice on 2 separate occasions, and he was not there. And I talked to a couple of neighbors. Yeah, they just said in and out, and So yeah, I haven't spoke to him. He hasn't been out there when I've been out there.
So have you dealt with this with zoning before? We're just trying to figure out next steps other than,
I have not. Literally, our zoning ordinance says, let them know that they're in violation, and then, it's up to the supervisors to set up discussion at the meeting for the fines, the daily fines or weekly fines, whenever. I mean, just fines. That's enforced and updated by you guys, so based on my zoning ordinance.
So is this something that has to be an ordinance to create a fine, or can we do it by action?
By action, that's what it says in the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
It just says, once you've tried to make contact with them, you have to let them know that they're gonna get fined as well. So, but I don't set that for my board. It's up to you guys per the zoning ordinance. So yeah, it's just action. Something as simple as, that address is compliance zoning, and, you guys can enforce a penalty of, $5 a day until they come into compliance or whatever.
So to have action, he needs to have been notified though? Or can we just have action?
Well, based on the zoning, it says to notify them, so,
Okay,
You gotta have it delivered so he knows what's going on, and it,
I'm just
maybe I can
wondering,
get a hold of Steve and see if one of those guys can drop it off or something. I don't know. The only thing I could go by is his records where his taxes get sent, so, and that was, I think it was on Apple Avenue, I can't remember exactly the address. but,
4601. And if I'm gonna look it up here, it looks like the place he used to have. He doesn't live there anymore because that's the new recycling place in Worth County.
Okay, he's in Worth County now?
No, he was in
Was.
Worth County. He had the recycling place on the, just east of Lake Mills and a little bit
Oh,
north.
okay.
He sold that to that Sombrota company, and I don't know where he lives now.
well, this new spot, right?
I'd be anxious to see if the assessor, if she got anything kicked back. Obviously taxes went out earlier this,
Or, the treasurer would have sent something out, right?
Mhm.
I went and had the assessor printed all off because I didn't even really know whose name it was in. Find it.
the parcel up there in question.
Yeah. Here it is. Lots 15 through 20. The taxes,
see the address is 4601.
That's what it said on mine. Mailing address, right?
4601 Apple Avenue.
And that's
Is the
the
tax
former
charge.
recycling place.
Oh,
He used to live there, but then he sold it. I don't know if he still lives there in the back or not.
Which piece are we talking about on here then? I can't find the 46.
That's because it's in Worth County.
Oh, it's this one right down here then.
It's way down by 105. I just looked it up on Google.
but here's the Winnebago County taxes. But with that mailing address.
That's the mailing address.
Yeah.
It's way down by 105, you said?
Yeah.
That's 105, just kidding.
Just north of 105.
Okay.
There's an address of 50294 Apple Avenue.
Well, that's what we're talking about, is that
That's the
place.
spot we're talking
Yeah.
about that's actually
Maybe he
the
lives in
lots.
the trailer house there.
And then there's an address of,
The one they own, that pie piece.
Matt, do you know which address you sent it to?
I don't have that right in front of me right now. I'm
Okay,
traveling today, but I can look that up.
yeah,
Time here shortly.
and then if you can,
and then there's one on 160th Avenue. 47781 160th Avenue.
So this Emily Cruz has a P.O. box up in Clark's Grove. So it might not be the same.
Yeah, the Roger Cruz has 3 addresses here.
So the drawing on the tax thing says that there's a mobile home, a 12 by 32 foot mobile home with a 9-foot deck.
That parcel you're talking about on 160th says mail it to 4601 Apple Avenue.
Yeah,
Should I just run down to the treasurer's office and talk to her?
You wanna take this?
but if the 4601 doesn't work,
That's right.
I would try all 3 addresses.
About 3? Certain
Yeah.
others.
Why not?
Or have the sheriff do it. Find them.
Does this guy have a fence in the wrong spot or something?
Hmm.
Does this guy have a fence in the wrong spot or something?
It's a salvage type.
Oh, never mind, got it. Kind of like a couple others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so the frustrating part for some of our constituents in that area is that we thought the letter had been served, and then more stuff kept coming in. So some frustration going on there. See if we can't solve it.
The actual parcel, I mean, that's his mailing address, but the actual parcel that's in question here is the one up
Yes,
here.
yes, because he sold that other 4601 one to, and that's not even in our county, the other one, you know.
Yeah.
But that's where we used to always take all of our steel and everything, you know. See what Terry comes up
He
with.
seems kind of sneaky.
Hey Matt, while we're waiting here, did you get the stuff from the FEMA about this floodplain ordinance that needs to be passed?
Yeah, I got an email out. I just gotta get the wording, so then I'll let you know when we gotta put that on the agenda for, I think it's a public hearing.
Yeah, we have to do 3 readings and a public hearing, and then it's gotta go to the paper.
Yep, yeah.
Okay,
There's something that's gotta go to the paper that they've supplied me with in the past, so I'll
okay,
shoot her a quick email and get that information, and then we'll get the ball rolling on that for the next 3 weeks.
okay, thank you.
All right, yep.
I thought we could do number 4, because you guys have already, that's already said, isn't it?
Yes,
Set special meeting to discuss 28E regarding general assistance director position. I believe that's set for October 7th at
9 a.m.
9 a.m. We need a motion for that? Let me do it. I got it in front of me. Make a motion to set the special meeting to discuss 28E regarding general assistance director position for October 7th at 9 a.m.
I'll second.
Motion by Smith and seconded by Jensvold. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we know that Terry is because he's going. I'm gonna try to be here, but let's see what happens.
Well, at least it's in the morning, if you're gone by the beans. But that's usually when you're getting stuff ready.
Moving, monkey doodling.
Yeah, and so we moved to one field and combined a little bit of the beans, and they were 18.5%. So we had to put it all away.
You know, last year we couldn't find a drive-in to save our souls. Waited and waited and
And
waited.
the ones we did go combine, they were only 14, but then we had to, being they were wet enough, and we had to truck them all the way down to where we were gonna put the, well, there were some out anyway, where they dried out a little later in the day, so they were putting them in the bin without a fan. We wanted to put them in the bin with a fan.
And
Mother Nature she just got into our schedules,
you know, and
accommodated us.
Okay, so in August, a tax statement was sent out to that 4601 Apple Avenue, and it was not returned.
not
So
returned.
that means it got there. So I don't know what address Matt sent it to, but that would be the one to try next if we're gonna do it. Try it again.
Did you say 4601?
4601 Apple Avenue, Lake Mills.
4601 Apple Avenue. Okay.
And it got there and it was paid, right? Or,
Well, I was just gonna look up to see if they paid their taxes. It shows nothing paid yet.
mm,
So they're late on their taxes on that
so
parcel.
maybe they didn't get it, so.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did.
Does yours show paid
They
or?
paid September 13th of 22.
It doesn't show here that, why isn't it showing up here?
I don't know.
Black time.
Oh, they did, yeah.
So they did pay.
Right. You gotta click it open before you can see that. There's a column to the right of it that says paid, but it doesn't show.
It doesn't work very good on your phone.
Yeah.
So
So,
the next steps here then is Matt needs to get that,
Make
letter,
one more attempt to that 4601.
or should we just see if?
Well, it depends on where you sent it the first time. Did he send
Right, depending on where you sent it the first time, Matt, otherwise, we could just go straight to Pepperly
So,
too.
It was registered mail, so you have to sign for it, so you have to pick that up at the post office, don't you?
No, they,
They have somebody go and the rural carrier has you sign for it right there. And then he's gotta get lucky when he's there to have them home.
That's why it's easier to have
So
sheriff, would be just easier to have sheriff do it. And maybe it would be,
even they have gotta get somebody to answer the door.
So if it says 4601 Apple Avenue, that has gotta be, he's still living at the recycling place. He must have sold off around him.
Is that in Worth County?
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
I looked, searched 4601 Apple Avenue on our thing and it came up as no address for that.
Let me get into the Worth County one.
Yeah, I'll be back into town tomorrow, mid to late morning, so I can grab that letter that got returned and get that sent off certified to 4601 Apple Avenue.
Yes.
okay, we need,
I think in the letter I got like a 14-day window for him to, respond and how to proceed. Do you feel like that's enough time, or is it too much time?
I think that's too much time. We've already lost all the way from the end of July to now.
Yep.
So I think we need to either get,
On the Worth County rolls, it still shows Roger owns that shed house at the back end of the recycling place.
oh,
Okay, and that's the 4601.
Well, actually, it shows he owns the whole place. But he must be leasing it to that place from Zumbrota, the area around his shed.
Okay,
well, so let's just
Oh,
not,
it's a contract. JJW Property Management of Iowa LLC.
contract for deed. Okay.
JJW. trying to remember what that place is. It was some
The one where
road,
they
I
used to
think.
call it the cat house? That house? Caterpillar house? I mean, they used to store their caterpillar in it, that one? Nope,
I don't know what you're talking about.
oh,
That's
Okay.
better than the first definition.
Well, there was quite a transaction. It was 362,000 somebody paid for this, the recycling place. So it must be the whole thing. But I don't know if he rents back or not.
so I suppose we don't have any idea whether there was zoning on that recycling place with Worth County. There wasn't
Oh,
probably.
there is now. There wasn't any probably when the purchase went through. We just went through a whole zoning change, end of May 23rd. And zoned the rest of Worth County. So it's zoned. And my guess is I'd have to go back through. We kind of went through and picked out some of the current uses of the parcels and just zoned them to what they're being currently used at. So my guess is that's going to be in compliance with zoning in Worth. But before May of last year, it's kind of the wild, wild west in Worth County. There was no zoning, so.
Mhm. Well, if you could stay on top of whether that gets delivered.
Yep.
I think that's the most important thing right now, is to just make sure that he knows,
Yep.
especially with all of this discussion, and he doesn't even know about it. So let's get that accomplished first.
Yep, will do. I've got to be over in that area into this week anyway, so maybe I'll zip over with a copy in hand and see if I can't find him. Or, I mean, if he's running a business, you'd think he'd have a telephone number or something that, but I will. I'll make it a priority.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
Apparently somebody did pay the taxes in Worth County on that recycling place on the 30th of September, so.
Can you see who paid him? Because this usually says who paid him on ours.
Wow, not on my phone it doesn't.
Oh, sure. Okay, well. I guess maybe that's all we need to do on that for today, but just so we keep it at the top of the list.
When the time comes, it sounds like we can just make whatever we want for fines or whatever's.
Does- Okay, so we've already done the floodplain ordinance. We know what has to happen there. We need 3 readings and a public hearing, right? On number 3.
We can also, I think, is it required by federal rules that we have to have 3 readings? We can have a reading, and then the second reading, we can dispose of the 3rd reading.
Oh.
Yeah. Haven't we waived the last 2 before?
I think we have, but I think on this one,
I
we should
think
have
so.
at least
Seems
2.
like we just don't want that we waived the second 2 readings. Different things.
And I'm guessing we need, about 40 days through this? We gotta get a notice in the paper, and
Yeah.
so,
We can come back to that when Carla comes to try to set some dates on that, times.
We can call Scott up, I guess, he's here.
yeah, so we can leave.
A lot of stuff going on.
Thanks, Matt.
I think he got it up already.
Because it was still going on.
Scott, ready for you. Thanks.
Sometimes the others, one can hang up and yours just hangs on, and
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
I
It's
can't
weird.
figure out why it would, do you think it would always be the same?
So there's a plaque that's probably
pictures, but I think I must have deleted them of the site.
Oh, really? I've seen pictures of it. You must have shown them to us at one time or another.
I've got mine set up where it automatically backs it up on my OneDrive with my computer.
You're way
Which is
more
really nice,
techie than me.
which is really nice when I get all these cool Snapchat videos of a 2-year-old. Almost. He's into hugging now.
Oh,
When it's bedtime, his way of stalling is, I gotta go outside. He goes outside and he hugs a tree.
oh.
Then he goes out and hugs the cornstalk. Then he hugs the ground.
Sure.
He's a conniver.
How did Joan's eye turn out okay?
That's healing. She had to wear sunglasses last Friday
Really?
at work in the hospital.
So Scott's on his way, but do we need to set times, Carla, for the floodplain ordinance readings and public hearing? And
That's what I was talking to Matt about, and he said that he was gonna take care of it and let me know when.
Oh,
Yeah, he had to,
oh, he had to look up something or whatever.
yeah,
Okay, all right, so that's just,
be on the agenda again in the future.
tabled.
Probably have to wait on number 4 till we have a little more time. Do the quarterly report.
We already did number 4 while you were gone.
Number 11.
While you were gone.
Just trying to fill time till Scott gets here.
Mhm.
Then we got 10
I
o'clock.
said we did number 4 while you were gone.
Okay.
We knew you knew about it already.
Unless you want to go back and revisit it.
The vote hasn't closed yet, so I think it's still,
Cast your vote.
Hey, Scott.
Morning.
I wonder if she didn't get it. She's been, doing 2 jobs now that, I don't have a person here, and I wonder if she didn't get it done. So, we can table that.
Which, 11 we're tabling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morning.
Morning.
What you got for us?
Yeah, well, I've missed a couple meetings. We've been real busy.
Yeah.
I'll give you our updates to projects. So, asphalt paving north of Lake Mills, the paving portion is complete, and they should be here to put the rock shoulders on Friday. That's what we're hearing right now, subject to change, of course. And then paint striping to follow, and that project should be buttoned up, here in the next few weeks.
Looks really good.
Yeah, I'm happy with how it rides, at least in my couple of passes there. My pickup rides pretty well, so maybe try it in one of the other trucks.
We don't have any highline projects on that road, do we?
Yeah, not that I know of, and not that we'll be pretty scrutinizing of what happens on those newer pavements, I guess, from now on.
Yeah.
Speaking of problems with the roads, I see there's an issue with the person that met the person that was pulling the tanks blew out the edge of the road over by Susan's.
Yeah, we had some
I
problem.
talked to Ethan about it
Yeah.
too,
Had a
so, yeah.
little bit of a blowout, but I think it's a pretty easy fix, and we happen to have a patching company in town, so we'll get it within the next couple of days.
Yeah, that's what Ethan said, that's good.
Yeah, this time of year when manure is getting hauled and grain and everything else, it's hard on the roads.
Mhm. The blacktop right there
That's
by
why
our
we
house.
decided to maybe get a manure management
Side
plan
of the
that
road.
they do it by tether instead.
Right. Yeah.
We can do to help that, like going through culverts and stuff.
Right.
Great.
Yep. So this is on R-72 over north of Winnebago Church a little ways.
North, were they coming from the landfill road then?
I didn't get the whole story yet.
I know they were injecting at the corner of 420th and R-72 on the northeast corner. Is what I was told.
So they made a big mess on the gravel road, but they cleaned it up. Ethan was out there and handled it
On Saturday.
on Saturday.
So that was on 420th, the mess was?
Oh, you mean the blowout of manure on the road?
Well, it
Made a mess,
It
plus
just made
had
a
some
really-
damage to the road, and
and
so.
did some damage. So, but Ethan said that maybe there would even be some insurance involved.
That's what he's hoping for. The
He just said
hauler was gonna turn it into their insurance company and see once we get numbers and stuff.
yeah, well, we need to
And,
go after that stuff. The taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for that damage and
right,
mess.
right.
Tire blew out? Or
No, just part of the outer 2 feet of the road just kind of broke. Yeah, just kind of turned into a,
And then the
I'll show you
messes,
pictures.
the messes that were on the road were, obviously hasn't rained for a long time, so we know what the messes were. It was,
They just been dribbling on the road.
we drove through it. I think they had a spill, maybe it was, I don't know what they had. It just looked tough.
I'm guessing the hose dangles out and it just cleaned it out on the road.
Oh,
So I was happy that Ethan was out there though and took care of it, so.
Yep.
He might not have been.
no, yeah. Rather not have to do that kind of thing. Okay, other projects, or bridge replacement project on A42 west of town is now open to traffic.
and I drove around the sign, they were in the process of removing them.
Yep, our guys took all the signs down today and got shoulders of the road fixed up. They got the patch in last night late at, 7:30 or something like that. So just seeding and erosion control stuff to go. So for all intents and purposes, it's complete and road's open. So we can relieve that gravel detour now.
Do we see or is it part of the project?
Part of the project, but Lakeside is their side. And our guys are in the middle of the G14W replacement project. If you've been close there, you see they have the pipe assembled, and it's big. It's bigger than.
It looked like a Quonset building.
Yeah, that's right. It's huge. And we're down a machine right now. We had a raccoon getting the fan of excavator, so they're waiting on a new fan.
Poor thing, would you have a funeral?
We had one
If there was, I wasn't part of it.
run out of our feeder house the other day when we started up the combine. Like, oh.
Yeah, so anyway, we've been waiting for a little more than a week, I think, already, waiting on a new fan. And so with one machine, we're not gonna get too aggressive trying to get dikes built and try to get the bottom in, so the guys are out on A42 kind of shaping that up and doing some odds and ends stuff here until we get that machine fixed up. So I'd guess another 2 weeks maybe on that one. Be nice to have it open for harvest, but maybe we'll get part of it. And other projects. Asphalt patch project has been going on, started yesterday at Highway 9 and R74 out toward Worth County line, and they worked their way north and fixed the intersections and the bridge approach that was really bad there, and a couple other intersections, the Joyce Blacktop and the Rice Lake Blacktop. Part of that's not done yet. We still got a few things to we got to go back up there. Today they started on the road that goes from Port City to Pilot Knob, fixing some of the bad shoulder locations, I should say shoulder bike lanes. So they'll be there most of the day. And a patch up by Landis Co-op and Rake, and there's a couple along or the intersections of Highway 69 and R60 and the road that goes to Rembrandt. Those intersections all get some work, so we're kind of hopscotching all over the place with this project. A couple more days of that, and that's all we're in the middle of right now.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So the edge running, I noticed some areas north and west of me, they would put the product on, but So you end up with a,
We're practicing.
yeah,
We had, our own guys fabricated these shoulder boxes.
Yeah.
And, they're just like a hopper that fits on the back of a dump truck. And
does it wander then, or is it just trying to get the position of the
Um,
truck in the right?
I haven't spent a lot of time with them to know what the challenges are, but this is maybe their, I don't know, first week for the time playing with them, and they've had to, made some modifications and things. They're kind of trying to get it dialed in. We used to shoulder, and we still do, with a shouldering machine that fits on the front of a motor grader. But then you basically have to have 10 guys.
Yeah.
You gotta have enough trucks to keep the shoulder machine going, a guy on the shoulder, a guy driving the grader, a guy following, and a finished grader. You gotta have flagger. You gotta have like the whole crew available for this, but these shoulder boxes is a one-man show, so we're trying to find the balance of using one versus the other, because we don't always have 10 guys in the fall during harvest.
And I appreciate their efforts on that.
Yeah, so some of it I think we'll just need to go back and touch it up with the grader. Yeah, I noticed that I-42 a little bit is that way too, where some of those bad spots were, and it filled them in, and they just kind of shook out again. We'll just have to go back and touch them up. Harvest is so hard to them for tractor tires, and
When it's loose like this, it'd just be nice if there was like another box on the front of the grader or something that just kind of redistributes it farther over or something,
Yeah, some of it they've done a really nice job on it. Most of it, I think. But yeah, it can give us a little time to get that process figured out. We'll keep working on it.
The work that's going on in Buffalo Center there on the shoulder.
Oh, the concrete patchwork. Yeah, that's one more thing, I guess. Langfeld Construction's working on concrete patch in Buffalo Center south of Casey's.
Is that Buffalo Center doing that part?
No,
or
that's ours.
us? Yeah, so
Yeah.
I thought that was ours.
That's us. So they did the first pour of 10 yards on Friday, and
They did it
I
on
think they
the
did
board
one yesterday.
Yes. I've
Didn't
been
make-
driving past it.
I didn't make it there yesterday, but they probably have one or two more to go.
At least, yeah, maybe two.
They don't get too aggressive with multiple trucks because they only got a 3 or 4 man crew or whatever. So what I saw of them Friday, their work was nice. They're good finishers.
Yeah.
And we got good mix, and so hopefully that's the right fix there.
I've got a few grumpy comments on the time of year.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they got here right when harvest is and guys are trying to go in the elevator.
Yeah, that's, but I mean, you just have to get used to doing that, and you can, it's pretty easy.
My timing with concrete guys is usually right before Christmas.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if we called them a month ago, but we talked to them last fall, and this is finally when they could get to us. So we either gotta do it now or.
I just told them, this is a really nice when it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's M4 mix, so once they get 24 hours of cure time on it, we can open it to traffic.
Yeah.
It's just, they're
See, that
They're not
was
the
a
fastest
comment, that how long was it gonna be before they could drive on it? And I says, well, most of that cement cures pretty quick anymore nowadays.
yeah, it's what we call M4 mix. It's 24-hour mix.
Yeah, so that's even quicker than I thought, so.
Yeah. But, we're still stuck with the timeline that they gotta do the work. So, it turns out it's a bigger job than I had in my mind, and the price tag reflects that. Got
Yeah,
several
it's-
quotes on it, and it's,
It's more of a fix than I thought might happen.
yeah, well, I think we had guys putting pothole patch in it for a long time and decided we'll try to get
Just
it.
get rid of this.
Yeah. Most of the rest of the pavement's pretty good. I kind of wanted to say that.
Do you have anything else?
So,
Do we have any more? For Scott?
Oh,
It's almost 10.
oh, yeah, no,
Nothing, we'll let you get back to it.
One more question. Did they have to do some more bridge, the Mill Road, that bridge south there? The crew, they had to do some more of that?
Bridge deck patching, yeah.
Deck patching, did they?
It was a couple days of work, and it was last week, but yeah, that bridge and then the one up by Hogsback, they did patching on. I don't know, we did a couple years ago, and then now again, I don't know what.
That was my question. Did they have to redo what
No,
they
none of
already
it.
did, or is it just more of the surface that they didn't do?
That's a good question, and all the new patches are new locations. So why didn't they show up 2 years ago? I don't know, you know, the process isn't terribly scientific. They take a chain and a bar
I saw
And-
him doing it on
and
Seaport.
wiggle it across the surface and try to listen for the hollow sounds, and that's,
Oh,
you know,
really?
and that's how you find the parts that are called
I watched
delaminated.
It'd be
him.
like
I watched him
X-ray
do it.
or something, or
Yeah, and,
ultrasound, you know?
you know, you think it's, you know,
Like a witching stick.
right,
Yeah.
right. I think it might be kind of, I don't know, pointless or whatever, but when they start chipping at it, it'll flake off in slabs, and you wonder, how'd that even stay on there in the first place?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we could have waited till there's potholes in there, but you gotta think, is preventative gonna, you know, keep this bridge standing, or should we just wait until it looks really bad and then put a new surface on it? I don't know. You can have a lot of opinions about it, and I probably, you know, I could entertain them all. But that's what we want.
All right, well, if we don't have anything else for Scott, we're gonna
Thanks, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
stay safe. All right, it is 10 o'clock. Mary Lou Cleveland, Veterans Affairs, to discuss with possible action Operation Green Light for Veterans. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Thank you.
This has all been, this isn't my words for the resolution, so if anything needs to be changed. Operation Greenlight is being done in conjunction with the National Association of Veteran Services Officer, the local or the state level, and then National Association of Counties. And New York State did this last year, and it was really well received, and so they decided to bring it on a national level. I've been in touch with Carla and Kevin Peterson about putting green light bulbs for a week here at the courthouse. So it's focused on.
There is one other participant.
It is focused on November 7th to the 13th, piggybacking, of course, on November 11th being Veterans Day. And the idea is to light up the courthouses across the state of Iowa with green light bulbs. But then there's press releases and letters to the editor that I'll be doing that is also encouraging just residents of Winnebago County to put a green light bulb like outside their house, you know. And it isn't just a week-long thing. They're really encouraging green light bulbs to be for residents to keep on all the time. And it's basically just a way to thank veterans and their families for the sacrifices that they've given. Also, Operation Greenlight is hoping to highlight the amount of suicides, unfortunately, that are happening among veterans. The numbers are very, very high since 2021. And so it's just another way to get the word out, not only to veterans and their families that there's resources available, but just to educate our county that, you know, if you see a veteran, thank them. This is a way we can support them that doesn't really cost anything. It's not very hard. Yes, you have to buy a green light bulb, but you'd probably have a light bulb outside your home anyhow, so just put green on it instead. So this is the resolution that I would request that be passed for Operation Greenlight, and then the rest of it will be me working with letters, like I said, letters to the newspapers and press releases to KIOW, different things like that. Excuse me.
Like a great project.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
When is this again?
It's, I've actually got a press release, an early press release for you.
I feel so privileged now.
Yeah. And also there, I need to ask this, there is a quote that they want, a county official, their name to be on this quote. So I don't know who would want to do it. I did put your name in, Susan, because you're the chair of the Board of Supervisors. I can read what it says. It says, since the tragedy of September 11th, 2001, our nation's voluntary military force members and their families have made immense sacrifices for our safety and security over a 2-decade period, said Susan Smith, Board of Supervisors chairwoman. Similar to the sacrifices of previous generations of our armed forces, this service to country also often results in significant stress to many of the veterans who served in times of war and conflict. We want to make sure our veterans and their families know that their service mattered, that we are grateful for their sacrifices, and that it is now our turn to make sure they are served by their county government and our community.
That Susan Smith is very eloquent.
Yes.
I think that's great,
Okay,
absolutely. So it's similar to the blue light.
yes,
And
exactly. We're doing, blue is more like police and that kind of thing. I know some places do a different color that's supposed to be for all of them, but we're gonna just focus on the green for right now. And then that'll be a really great way too. November's a huge month for my office to begin with, and it's bigger this year because of Home-Based Iowa and Veterans Day program, and I always do ads focused toward that. So this will just be another way to get the word out and to encourage our residents to be involved.
When is our home-based Iowa rollout?
November 12th, it's in the morning, it's at 8 a.m. at Bowman, and ours will be that morning, and Washington County will be that afternoon. And the lieutenant governor and the governor have both been invited. We have not received word yet whether they'll be able to be there. And I'm going to be I need to contact Henry Stone because he's a veteran as well as a representative. I'm going to see if he'll be there. Jathan, who you met, that's the director of Home-Based Iowa, he will be there and he'll be speaking, and I will also be speaking. So it's going to be a really nice event. I've already got everything reserved with Waldorf. I just need to get with them about catering because their catering person just left. So I need to figure that out. But it's just going to be like a light breakfast, and we're going to have it upstairs and round tables set up. So
Brian,
Healy,
he's been doing it.
Okay.
Since, yeah.
Since Rachel left.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking. I knew he used to be doing it, but I wasn't sure. So I'll contact him. I was just thinking like muffins and fruit, that kind of thing.
We updated our home-based Iowa incentives to include that most recent action we took.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. It's been.
Well, I think this resolution looks really good. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution supporting Operation Green Light for veterans.
I'll second.
a motion by Kirby, seconded by Jensvold to approve, resolution for supporting Operation Greenlight for veterans. All in favor?
I,
Motion passed.
I'm gonna have to find some of that, translucent case.
You know,
Put
I was-
on my landscaping.
I was thinking the exact same thing, if we could just order some of that, that green transparent, because green lights are not gonna be the easiest thing to find.
Wow, that,
Okay.
replacing
Okay,
bulbs
I can send you a
in my
Word
system
document
is not
when I
gonna
get
be
back to
easy.
the office. Probably have it.
Mine have a specialized bulb too, so I can't do that, but I could put a piece of green
Yeah.
translucent.
Yeah, that's what we were
Plastic.
talking about. You're still discussing that with Kevin, or what's gonna be the best
Yeah,
option?
I haven't talked to him yet, but actually, I looked both ways, and it really is just as cheap to buy the light bulbs,
Okay.
so.
And my budget's gonna take care of it for the courthouse.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I feel like it's a good, and
I'm
it,
just thinking for regular people who wanna support it, if there was even a way that we could just buy, how those clear folders are just, maybe we could come up with some,
yeah, I can check into
inexpensive.
that. That would be really cool if we could come up with an inexpensive way to,
all it would require would be to slip it inside of your light fixture or something.
Right.
I don't know.
There's green film, but like I said, the green film is almost as expensive as just buying a green light bulb,
Right.
so.
I'm just saying, like Terry said, and I wouldn't, my light bulbs are specialized to the outside, so, you couldn't
Yeah.
just put a
Yeah.
light bulb in.
I mean, like mine, like landscaping lights, I got 10 landscaping lights, it'd be cool if they were all green.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah, there's some just green, like gel that you can buy on Amazon, and then you just cut it to the size of your light, so it's pretty easy.
So do you get this back,
Yeah,
Mary
if
Lou, or
you,
do you get?
yeah, if you would just wanna
It's already
sign it, and, did you sign
I
it?
signed it before we voted on it.
Perfect, thank you.
By the way, since you've been volunteering for this quote, I have to get you to read this so we can put it on the air.
Okay,
Yeah, so you'll have to practice the speech a few times.
it sounds really, really, really eloquent,
Authoritative,
because it
yes,
was well done,
yes,
whoever did it.
yes.
Did you do it?
I did not do it. This was all sent to us, and we're able to adapt it as we need to. I've made a few changes here and there, things that were kind of wordy.
Sure.
But yeah, we have early press release, a press release right when it happens, letters to the editor, and then the resolution. So
Tell
I'm
me
very
the-
well
Tell
prepared.
me the dates again.
November 7th to the 13th is for the green light bulbs. So it's like Monday to Sunday, because Friday is Veterans Day. And that day is when the Veterans Day program will be happening in conjunction with the community and Forest City Community School District.
And then the Association of Counties sent out some Facebook things that we'll be putting on our Facebook page
Perfect.
also, so.
Great way to get the word out.
Good.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris? Hey, Chris, we're ready for you if you're around. Not very far away.
The news is exploding all over the place. The coal miner's daughter's just died. Yeah, Loretta Lynn, she was 90.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's my mother-in-law's hero.
Saw
My
that
mother-in-law
movie
is a
again
coal
the other
miner's
day.
daughter.
Oh,
So,
she
yeah,
is.
she's always been huge.
Hello. Tell us what you have.
I don't have anything today.
Oh my goodness.
Knock on wood, drainage has been
I
quiet.
do.
Okay.
This is for Bill.
Really?
DD1, as it goes around Thompson.
Yep.
The southeast corner of Thompson where the drainage ditch is,
Oh, good things.
there's a beaver dam.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of the beavers, I suppose, first, then take out the dam.
So south side of Thompson?
Yeah.
Is it by DD12 or?
Southeast.
Well, let me look at it.
Okay.
Where from the railroad trestle?
It's south of that.
South of
It
it?
wreaked havoc in Hancock County.
I'm not sure.
Maybe
we're
let's see
12
where
and
the
1.
divide is.
All that in there.
So. Let's see, well, DD1 goes all the way to a mile south of town.
Right. I know
Um,
12 goes in by the south end of town. So,
But
I just
as
wanted
a
to make sure.
ditch,
or is it just a tile system?
I get it up on my phone, so I didn't see it comparatively. I would say it's the main ditch,
Okay.
DD1.
We're fine.
It'd be east of Stephen Klett, Ryman's.
I don't know.
They live in the very southeast corner of town.
Okay.
On
Is that where
end.
that little ditch comes out of town?
Unless I gotta look physically.
Crosses under
So much
just
this
east
morning.
of Thompson. I don't know.
And who told you about it?
Colette Ryman.
Oh,
This is,
Oh, I'm in the wrong county.
yeah,
okay.
there's a ditch.
I can just
Oh,
get somebody on that.
Where are we? That's not Thompson.
Diddy.
Is that down here?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's, this ditch.
Mhm.
It comes right up along the edge of town right there. There's a little mini ditch that comes out of town.
Really?
That is fed by a tile. It's a mini ditch going up with, and there's a tile that dumps into it.
Yeah.
So you think there's a beaver down here, beaver dam?
Yeah, it's right in there somewhere.
I would say it's gotta be really close to their place. Yeah, their property goes right to the ditch, so.
Okay.
Is it winter season?
Just about, is it November they start? You can probably get that special exception.
Yeah, I would have to get a hold of whoever's gonna trap them. And then they know the season.
I didn't know there was a season if they're affecting a ditch.
Well, we get that special
They can
exception.
get a special permit.
Who does
But
it?
if it's not really impeding it right now, they can wait a month or whatever.
But it did, I mean, yeah, she showed me it. wish he should have sent me a picture of it. It looks like,
The standing water.
yeah.
Oh,
there's a
okay.
Dam about this tall
Okay.
and they've been busy.
Okay.
That's the turn.
Last time we took one out, it was so interesting to watch when they were taking it out. There was like 3 dams in there. There was like the one you could see,
Mm-hmm.
and then as the water went down, you could see another one. Or, I mean, like only 10 foot away, but it was like on top of each other almost. Very
Yeah.
clever.
I'm sure this is before that little bull ditch that goes for 12.
South of it, you mean?
I think it's north of
Or
that.
north of that little
junction.
hole ditch?
Okay.
Probably not far from the intersection. So both districts.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else?
Nothing from you, Bill? We're good to go?
Badgers do. Somebody hit Badger on 420. Yeah.
I guess we did have a drainage problem last night. It was one of the breakdowns. Can't blame that one. Flag disappeared on the intake and it was one of them wire ones. And it bounced along the sickle and took out several
Oh.
points and things.
Is it like new novice combine driver that didn't know what it was? Or
No, it was veteran one driving it.
Okay.
He knew it was there.
So we're good?
It was pretty soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.
That's what
always
happens when
hard
you
to-
combine at night.
Yeah, don't do that. All right, so we are on number 8.
So auto steer doesn't correct for that.
Well, you know, today's technology with all that data, I would guess you could almost put those into,
I bet you could plug them in there.
plug them into your field.
Mhm.
I know, sir.
All right, so consider for approval the resolution to authorize destruction of election records in the county auditor's office. You know, when I read that, the first thing I kind of thought was, since there are people that are questioning it, is there any reason, not questioning it, you know what I mean? Is there any reason to keep them longer?
Well, it's been a debate,
I know.
Is there a downside to keeping them? Is it a big problem or is it
just
hard to do?
storage room.
Storage room in,
We'll just put them in Bill's office, they'll be fine.
If we have an active shooter, we need room.
and get in their lockers, doesn't it? So it's not electronic then, it's the paper ballots that you're gonna, which, we know what they said, I guess. So it's-
Would anyone like to?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to authorize destruction of election records in the county auditor's office.
Have we done this before?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I've even been in on that.
I'll second
We have a motion by Derby, seconded by Jensvold, to approve the resolution to authorize destruction of election records in the county auditor's office. All in favor say aye.
it.
Aye. Motion passed. So, do they just shred them?
Yep.
Consider for approval to accept the audit report for Central Iowa Detention.
No, didn't look like there was anything naughty in it, so.
I looked at it too.
I would make a motion to approve that. Audit report.
And we have a motion by Jensvold and seconded by Derby to approve the audit report, accept and approve the report for Central Iowa Detention. All in favor? Aye. Need stamped or anything?
Yes, please, approved.
Oh, what? There, now you can just go.
Yeah, I've been kind of
Feeling better about it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. I'm just happy to hear there's another thing to
Do
say.
you want front page or back page?
Whatever makes you happy.
It's easier on the front page.
Got the whole page.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's easier to do on the front page.
Easier to find on the front page?
Yeah,
Oh, he's
too.
got the right date.
We were talking,
Earlier, wait,
we were talking earlier how when the change of the year comes, you gotta change the month and the year. And it's gonna be up to the rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Terry and I are just gonna sit back and giggle.
Go out and get some coffee. Come back.
Make sure we need that stamper right away.
Yeah.
I can still hear that manager. Well, you'll just have to struggle with it. Just
Yeah,
struggle
you'll
with
just
it.
struggle with it.
Okay. Okay, so now we have anything for open forum?
Me too.
I see, Freeborn County's having a struggle with, they're 13 short on personnel, their law enforcement.
Really?
That's what they said on the TV.
They all leaving or what are they doing?
While I was listening to KOW, I saw this thing on TV.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we reported on it, but
I'm curious to know what their starting salary is up there now. Did you report on that?
no. It's, that would take a lot of digging.
Where's
But
this?
as of late, we've been doing a lot of digging just about everywhere, so that would be nothing.
I know what their county administrator starts at.
Yeah.
Where's this person from?
For city.
So the heads of the departments do the evaluations of any of their
Employees.
employees, and then do we see their evaluations? No.
Thank you.
So those big manure haulers, you know, are they considered ag or are they considered commercial?
Egg.
I would assume it's ag.
I'm sure Farm Bureau made sure of that.
Anything else for open forum?
Because they don't have to abide by any weight limit
That's-
stuff and all that.
That was my question to,
That's why our only control is to encourage them to go tethered instead. And biblical or whatever.
Remember those lines are fun to work on, right?
I'll bet.
Got a really good story.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Should we
So-
remind you?
I'll tell you sometime.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's quarterly report.
Second.
Motion by Derby and seconded by Jensel to approve the auditor's quarterly report. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Consider for approval semi-monthly county claims.
I got a little confused when I opened it up and talked about the money we spent on roads at the bottom. The roads weren't in there. It's about the tab.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought it was in the same tab. So I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby, seconded by Jensel to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Consider for approval certification of cost allocation plan.
Guns untied, is that what we're supposed to say?
Gesundheit.
One more, right? Don't they come in threes?
I think so.
Not me, once I start, it goes on for hardly ever. and
If
then
it
all of a
was
sudden-
me, you wouldn't hear anything else.
No, that's what, I hate, it's a violent reaction. I just hate it. Lawyer,
You say your heart skips a beat or something like that when you do that.
I swear mine
Closest-
stops for a while.
Closest to death and during a sneeze. Okay, so.
I read through the reports. So we don't need a stamp on this.
Nope, just a signature, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the certification of cost allocation plan.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensel, seconded by Derby to approve the certification for cost allocation plan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. All right, is there anything we missed that we need to go back to, or are we good? If there's anything I need to do about that thing with this zoning or something, just have to let me know. I just hope we can move it forward quickly.
What was the action we took on number 4 then?
We set the public hearing, or set the meeting, special meeting for October 7th at 9.
I think I've got it on my phone.
You just need my signature on this
Yeah.
allocation plan is all?
Yes, please.
I don't remember saying anything about it, but the supervisors wanted to do the plan. So
Well, we just
she must
been,
have misunderstood something.
I don't know.
What's it? What did she say?
She, it was in a.
Well, we did talk about, like, if we're gonna,
Additionals.
we talked about, you know, if we're gonna pay $5,000 to her, we might as well just have Ruth keep doing it, because,
Yeah, because it's a conflict.
well, no, what's a conflict of interest? If Ruth has, it's one of those people that Ruth is an advocate for, she can't do that.
Okay.
And then what Ruth said is that, like, I could do that person, just, like, if that happens to be one of those people. But she said, when I went back and talked to Melissa about that, she said, there are other counties who have Ruth, like, the person that Ruth does that.
The advocate does that also.
Yes, as long as it's not one of the people that she's an advocate for. That's the only time there's a conflict.
So you're better off having someone else do it then, so there's never a conflict.
You can voice that opinion at the next one.
Wow.
That's not on our agenda today.
No, it's not.
I just never remember saying that we were gonna head a different direction. I've never had that in my mind.
Okay, well, somebody needs to talk to Cindy then, because that's the opinion that she had. And
Cheers.
Thank you for your support.
Anytime, you know, I'm always there for you guys.
We adjourned.
We are.
okay.